Ask an advisor. Our long-term care insurance now costs $500 per month. We're in our mid-70s and have paid $72,000 into Tall. Should we cancel our policies? Smart Asset. My wife and I bought long-term care policies 25 years ago when they were relatively cheap. Now, our premiums have increased for the third time to over $500 per month and will rise again in X years. I figure I've already paid about $72,000 in premiums. Now, in our late 70s, I'm trying to decide. The post Ask an advisor. Our long-term care insurance now costs $500 per month. We're in our mid-70s and have paid $72,000 in total. Should we cancel our policies? Appeared first on Smart Reads by Smarta. Below are your comments. While Lieutenant Colonel is usually trotted out in retirement advice, the cost is beyond what most people can afford. If the premiums are affordable, often the costs covered are far less than expected. And if the coverage is good, most cannot afford the premiums. Each person has to evaluate their risks based on. An insurance company is the same as a bookmaker at the racetrack. They estimate odds of payout and make sure they win. Unlike insurance, bookmakers do not change the odds after the race has started. Most people would be better off self-insuring. The average person stay in a nursing home is less than 3 years. That math should be straightforward. Also, if you don't use the money, the spouse, children get the money. At age 60 we put $400,000 in a fixed annuity for long-term care. If needed. We are now 80 and it is slightly over $1 mil. Hopefully won't need to all for long-term care and will pass on as inheritance. In Canada, in Ontario at least, heavily subsidized Lieutenant Colonel is included in their universal healthcare SYS. TEM. We paid $17,000 per year for my father's shared room in a nursing home for the last 6 months of his life. Next news. Retirees rely on Social Security the most in these U.S. cities. Smart Asset. When inflation surges and cash loses its purchasing power, retirees' hard-earned savings suddenly do not go as far as they expected. Inflation may also lead to widespread salary increases, but retirees typically don't benefit from wage growth because they've already left. Continue reading. Right pointing arrow. The post. How important is Social Security to retirees in U.S. cities? 2023 study appeared first on Smart Asset blog. Below are your comments. I think these figures are extremely low. The folks I know say SSI is 100% of their income, or at the very least 75%. Ridiculous stats. Well, yay, anyone who's relying on SS can't afford to live in DC, California, etc. Regarding the Social Security system, how about solving the looming Social Security funding short FA/LL without making people work longer than they already have to? raising the tax slightly and making it more progressive by extending the taxable earnings amount (THR) threshold, and by adding a SM. It's relative. I'm waiting until 70 Dec. 2024 to collect SS. Between the wife and I, our annual benefit will be $76,000. We will only pull another $20,000 from IRA to bring our income to about $95,000, $100,000 per year. So, our percent of income derived from SS will exceed 75%. The percent of income 1. I'll bet the cost of living in the most dependent cities is considerably less than the least dependent NT, which evens out the standard of living. Next news. The U.S.'s massive debt pile is fueling the bond market crash. These 4 charts tell the story. Business Insider. Concerns about the deficit have fueled the Treasury bond market meltdown of the past few weeks. These charts show why Wall Street is worried. Below are your comments. I doubt that bond vigilantes are at fault. More likely, the scale of required Treasury borrowing is forcing Treasury to offer higher rates to place increasingly profitable private investment opportunities. Keep in mind, the Fed cannot control inflation rate if the Gov is not sensitive to interest rate. Case in point, Argentina. The federal government debt has been used to finance corruption and never-ending wars rather than productive capital improvements. It's not so much the debt bad as it is but the deficit spending, which is now adding 2 of debt every year. And the Democrats show no inclination to slow down, much less stop. And the taxes necessary to cover them would destroy their careers, the economy, and maybe the nation. Reagan and Bush? Look at what this current administration has done to our debt levels. Better to just say government continues to spend beyond their means. Not sure why every news story has to have a political agenda. Next news. SBF tells jury he didn't take FTX customer money but a lot of people got hurt. Yahoo Finance. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried began his testimony before a jury by saying he didn't commit fraud or take customer funds from his cryptocurrency exchange. Below are your comments. SBF. I did not steal customer money, the money just showed up in Alameda account, so I just borrowed it. Even I have told FTX customers I will not touch their money. Have then politicians who received the donations given the money back to the investors it was stolen from? I didn't steal the money. I just borrowed it, and spent it, without giving any thought as to when, if, how I would ever pay it back. Oh, yeah, and the people I borrowed it from didn't even know they were lending it to me. But that's not stealing, is it, if it's just a loan? Novel defense strategy. Did you steal that money? No, I did not. Your Honor, we rest our case. Maybe he knows something, or someone, the rest of us don't. Next news. More Americans over 75 are working than ever. We're balling now. CBS Money Watch. One 78-year-old says he loves his profession and can't imagine stepping back from his work. "I'll retire in a wooden box," he said. Below are your comments. So is this going to add another layer of false accounting to our unemployment rate, since retirees are not in the civilian labor force? So we have boomers that trashed the world and are now talking mess because they have it good, and me's said around everyone younger? Listen, the only people you should actually have a grudge against are 1% who literally steal from poo. Our people, or 99% of everyone. Regardless of age, color, or any other met. Do not forget to vote for Biden in 2024. Biden used the tactic of Social Security and Medicare cut by Republicans. The retirees voted for him. Therefore, they deserve this and they should stop whining. They have to. Biden is destroying the economy. Sounds like an article written by the Chamber of Commerce. Next news. Treasury bonds are yielding the same as the highest dividends paid by S&P 500 companies, Goldman Sachs HS says. Business Insider. Dividend yields for the highest-paying S&P 500 companies are now exactly in line with the yield on T. He 10-year Treasury. Below are your comments. The major difference is there is a risk in stocks that isn't the same in T-bonds. I'll never vote Democrat, but what the Brandon administration has done to our economy has been a windfall to government-backed securities. I am now 100% in my VMFXX money market with a 5.30% 7-day yield and a 5.43% compound yield. I'm loving those monthly dividends and sleeping well at night. I'll get back. Remove Trump tariffs. Tariffs increase inflation rates, push up the cost of steals, almost everything including bond yield. One more red flag indicating the stock market is on the verge of a crash. The difference is that in the after-tax world, the equities are still ahead. Next news. What will my lifestyle look like if I retire with $20 million? Smart asset. Imagine awakening to the gentle sound of waves washing up on a pristine beach, steps away from your luxury villa. You enjoy a gourmet breakfast while planning your day, debating between taking a tranquil boat trip or enjoying a private tour of a renowned local museum. All of these are made possible because you've amassed. The post "What a Retirement Lifestyle with $20 million Looks Like" appeared first on Smart Reads by SMA RT Asset. Below are your comments. Most people nearing end of life can barely control their bodily organs, let alone enjoy life. Spend it young. You can withdraw $500,000 per year for 4 decades, not 40 decades. 40 decades is 400 years. If I use a financial manager, I want one who checks and double-checks his work. There are 2 words the usage of which should result in prison time. convenience and lifestyle. Next news. Hedge fund billionaire Steve Cohen expects a recession to come and go quickly before a stock market rally in 2024. Business Insider. The billionaire investor said a downturn could be a fake scare that could catch investors off guard. But it won't last long. Below are your comments. It takes multiple quarters to call a recession, so by definition it can't be quick. How much longer are publications going to scare people with this recession business? They have been spouting recession nonsense for 3 years, and what is the reality? Last month alone, over 360,000 new jobs. Last quarter GDP 4.8%. Consumer spending up 0.7%. These folks have zero credibility. They are a D. What a joke. The stock market is our problem. All those making money off stock take away from those who buy what is made. Simple put, the trickle-down effect is broken. Money can't get to the working class because it is taken away at the top. Next news. Get ready for more U.S. debt sticker shock as Wall Street sees a bigger wave of treasuries flooding the bond market. Business Insider. As forecasts for deficit spending soar, Wall Street is raising its estimates how much fresh U.S. debt is coming. Below are your comments. The extra supply of bonds will increase the money supply and cause more inflation. The yields and interest rates on them will have to be higher. Deficit spending will not clear $2 trillion in 2026. Fiscal year 2024 will easily clear $2.5 trillion. By 2026, we will be at $40 trillion in debt. $9.7 trillion in Build Back Better spending is guaranteed to continue high inflation. And then what? The recession sets in and the bill comes due. The U.S. Treasury cannot keep pushing the recession off. Only $33 trillion now, why not to add few more? Oligarchs are the only ones benefiting. Next news. The UAW strike nears an end. The winners, losers, and unknowns in the deal. Barron's.com. Chrysler parent Stellantis reached a deal with the United Auto Workers to end a 6-week strike just days after Ford Motor came to a tentative agreement with the union. Below are your comments. Don't buy their vehicles and behavior will change soon. Layoffs ahead as the companies shift work to Mexico. Unions just bleep another industry. The losers are the American public that don't belong to the UAW. Losers? Ford, Fiat, and GM. They just lost many customers. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.